come see one of your kids' games?
Yes. First one, that was awesome to have them there. I think the rest of the Brigade Flag Football League was looking around the field like, who are these people? Because they're giants, they stand out. But that was really cool, and that's to me like that's what I'm about. That's how I got the opportunity to be here. Is the success I had at Saguaro was all based on building relationships, having my players know that I cared about them, that I was there for them, that I had their back, I was going to help them and create opportunities for them as long as they had my back. And so I want my players to know my family. I want my family to be around them. My wife bakes them treats every Friday. It's an excuse. It's not good for me because then I end up stealing some of them. I'm trying to watch that. But no, that's what's unique about this is this is a family still, and I think as much as college football's transitioned to being a business, I think Coach Dillingham has done a good job of still understanding that culture wins in college football, and that when you have that family atmosphere where people care about each other and love each other, you can be special, and I think we reflected that last year.
I don't know if you said this before I got here, but kind of what are your expectations for this year and in the future for AJ?
Yeah, I mean, he should be a guy that contributes. If he continues to work, he's got ability. He's got to be able to contribute this year. He should be a guy that's hard to keep off the field. Now, with that said, we've got some guys in front of him that are really darn good players, and so that's going to force him to really elevate his game. And if he can do that, then he can play. And he's showing, he's making plays, he's flashing out here. But it's less about red zone touchdowns and more about blocking the backside C gap on inside zone on first down. And if he can do that stuff consistently, if he can do the little things consistently, then he's obviously shown the athletic ability to be a big play, playmaker for us. So that's it. I think he's got to continue to rise to the occasion and do the things that we ask our tight ends to do. But it's really up to him. He's got to make us play.
Have you seen kind of some improvements or progress in those little things that maybe aren't always the at the forefront of the mind in high school, but once you get to the college game, you do have to
100%. I mean, he had 2 left feet in the run game. just his first step and his fits, his hats, his pad level, his hand placement, just the details on that. He's never been coached. It's not anything that he's insufficient. It's just he just doesn't have those tools in his tool belt, and so I'm just trying to give him those tools so he can do those things and be successful. He's been so open to being coached, so coachable. He's eager to learn. He doesn't take anything personal. He allows me to coach him hard. I haven't cut him any slack. I coach him like I coach the veterans, and because of that, the transformation in a little under 2 weeks has been awesome to see. It's still not there. It's still inconsistent, and that's the thing we talked about. Is like you've got to be in. Coach Brian Ward says it all the time. You've got to be consistently good over occasionally great. And right now we've seen AJ be occasionally great. I want him to get to the point where he's consistently good, and he's working there. He's getting better. He's not there yet, but if he keeps working the way he's working, I can see him getting there.
And you talked about that. There are guys ahead of him in the tight end room that are really good. Do you think that he's one of those guys that kind of takes motivation in that to get even better? Yeah,
I mean that's what you do. I mean that's good football teams have competition, right? If you show up every day and you know that nobody can take your job, you're not going to be the best version of yourself. Likewise, if you're a young guy and the older guys aren't grinding to get better and defend you off, you're not going to get any better. These guys show up and check the box and do the bare minimum, then go home and repeat. So we need guys showing up every day with their hair on fire to try to be better than the guy in front of them, and that forces the guy at the top to have to show up and bring his A game every day because he's got guys nipping at his heels, and then do that in a way that guys are embracing each other, knowing that it's not just one guy that's going to play. If we do this right, we should be able to play 3 or 4 guys consistently. Our first year here, I think we had 4 guys that played over 300 snaps between offense and special teams. So, if we do it the right way, we should be able to get a lot of reps for a lot of guys. And our number 1 guy should be a real dude because he's got guys that have pushed him to get better every single day.
And have you seen some of those veteran players in the tight end room like Shimon Mateer kind of give some advice or help out the freshmen like AJ?
Our guys are awesome. Shimon's awesome. Harp is awesome. Harp's had a great spring. He quietly, nobody really said anything about him yet. He's had a consistently, like we talk about being consistently good, he's been consistently good from start to where we are right now. He's done a great job of leadership. Shimon, I feel, is taking guys on the wing. And then I got to tip my hat to Kamari because Kamari's new here, but he's been in college football for 2 years. He's very smart, very cerebral. He's got natural energy, natural leadership qualities. And I think he's done a good job too, ingratiating himself to the other players. And I took my kids to the Friday night ASU U of A baseball game, and I'm sitting up there and I see Kamari and Colson and Giggy and all these guys walk by, and I'm like, that's what it's about. That's guys that are coming together to grow as a team, that are spending time with each other away from football. That's usually when you've got a good team.
Yeah, I think I was going to ask about that. I mean, you were talking about family, especially with so many new guys coming into the room. How is that group kind of blended together in terms of just a family aspect, talking about outside of the game, not just in practice, but how well they bonded and come together so far?
I think our guys like each other, genuinely. And it's because again, our number one rule is be a good person. You can't make that your number one team rule and not recruit good people. And so I think it starts with us when we go out and we're scouring the country for kids in our position group. Not just finding the most talented kid, but also finding kids that fit our culture. Kids that are going to come in that love football. And not everybody's the same. They're all different. Being a good person doesn't all look the same. But who you are to your core, enjoying being a part of a team, appreciating the brotherhood that you're a part of. I think our guys in our room have done a really good job of that. And Shimon is our leader at the top. He's one of those guys. We were laughing the other day. He came on his official visit in the first night. You could tell he was a little uncomfortable. And we were at the Brazilian steakhouse, and he had his hood on. He was watching a basketball game and was like super uncomfortable. And then by the end of the weekend, big smile on his face, letting his personality come out. It was just funny to laugh about when you came in here and how you felt to now where you feel. And that's a testament to the culture that Coach Dillingham's created. It's a culture where guys feel like they can be themselves, and they're going to be accepted for being themselves. And then when you have guys that feel that way, it's a lot easier to lead because you feel confident in your own skin and you feel comfortable walking through the building every day. So Shamon's done a great job of that. It's been cool to see his transformation and developing into a leader. But he's done a good job taking the new guys and the young guys under his wing.
And I'm thinking talking about Kamari, obviously he's been in college football for a few years, but how valuable is it to have a guy that's been in college football a few years, been in another team, come in, and even Shimon, who's been here for a few years, but then having a guy who's been in a different place, adding that sort of leadership into the mix?
Yeah, I mean, Kamari was a home run because Kamari's still 19 years old. So, you talk about a guy that's got a super high ceiling. He's got 2 years of SEC experience, and he's not even 20 yet. So you got a guy that's played at a high level, that knows what it looks like, that's played in the biggest environments against the best teams, and he can come in here, still bring youth to our team, and still be a young, eager guy, but have some veteran savvy because he's played 2 full years of college football. So we're excited about him. He's done a great job. And I always tell people, more so than what we've seen on the field, it's more about who he is off the field. He's exactly if you pick 3 or 4 guys that really embody what we're looking for in a Sun Devil, he's that guy. Just on and off the field, he does things right. He's such a hard worker. He's so humble. He's got great energy. He does things the right way. He's going to be very successful.
AJ said on Tuesday that he didn't block a lot in high school, but one of your main emphasis was you got to block or else you're not going to get the ball. So how has his development come so far in terms of just maybe not learning how to block necessarily, but at the college level, how important that is to kind of emphasize that?
Yeah, I mean, I said it at Saguaro High School, no block, no rock. You can you can have the best routes and the best hands on the team, but if you're not willing to block on the perimeter, you'll never play. And I've tried to carry that here, especially with the tight end room. If we wanted a big receiver, we'd recruit a big receiver. Yeah. We need a guy that can impact the game without the ball in his hands. And so he's done a good job of embracing that. He does a good job. He's super twitchy, so it shows up on the perimeter. I think now it's just in the core, the details of that. But yeah, when it's the standard, when you have a standard for your room, when somebody new comes into that, then they don't know anything else. That's just what it is. That's how you survive in this room. And I think that's a testament to our older guys. We've established a standard, and I try to show them clips of identity clips. And I never show an identity clip of us catching footballs. Our identity clips are always blocking in the core, blocking on the perimeter, picking up a blitz. That's our identity. The big plays with the ball in our hands, that stuff will come. We're not going to hang our hat on that. We're going to hang our hat on the stuff we can control.
And then last question for me, how valuable of an asset is when you're talking about blocking to be able to block in practice against such a good defensive line? I think that's one of the main things that a lot of people have talked about, the competitiveness that group's bring. I think Kenny said that's the group he's been the most impressed with. How valuable is it to have these in-practice reps that are so competitive and make them really they can't just, take a rep off because that defensive line is going to rip through you guys.
Yeah, and obviously testament to the D-line, they're getting their flowers because they're doing a great job and they're deep and they're talented. The tight ends have to block the D-line, the linebackers, right? The corners, the safeties in space. So we have to show up and block a really damn good defense at all 3 levels every day. And so that's where it's not just strap up and fit it up at the first level. It's now you got to go in space and block, X or Tana or one of those guys out in space. So you got to go get out on an island and try to dig out a corner who's trying to slide by you with speed. So our tight ends are asked to do a lot and do it against a really talented defense, and it's making us better every single day.
Awesome.